Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for another episode of Misery Corner, because that's what we do at Chelsea Football Club. We just have a lot of fun. It's amazing. We lost again. Frank Lampard is now 5 losses in 5 games. Barely, I was going to say none of these players, but barely any of these players are turning up anymore. I will be perfectly honest, I can't even blame them. You know, if I was a player and then I see this guy who calls himself the manager tell me, all right, we're trying to play attacking football, we're trying to be in the front foot and score more goals, and then we start with one attack on the pitch. And that's a winger at striker against one of the most difficult to break down teams in the league. But no, we will not play defensively ourselves to soak up a little pressure and try to hit on a counter. No chance. No. We will still try to dominate the game, hold possession all the time. Oh, yeah. But then put no one in the box, because that's how you score goals in football. It's not like our manager is the most successful goal scorer from midfield of all time ever. No. He thinks not having anyone in the box, that's how you're going to score goals. It's flipping brilliant. And I know I just sound annoyed and angry, but I'm not even really annoyed anymore. It's just the stupidity that I'm seeing in front of me. It's just mind-boggling. We brought the guy in to motivate the players, and his team selection alone kills any motivation. It doesn't matter what he says before, after, in between. It doesn't really matter. With the team he picks, just make sure no one in the stadium, in the team, on the bench believes that we can actually win the game. I mean, were we much better in the second half? No, but did you see the impetus that changed between the first half and the second half purely for putting Mudryk and Mbuemo on the bench? Now, did that win us the game? No. Would that have won us the game if we started like that? Probably also no. But, Frank always keeps talking about, it's important to be Chelsea. Well, and you know what it means to play for this club and to wear this badge. I'm like, Frank, did you forget? Because since when do we play 6 midfielders against Brentford at home with one attacker who's a winger? Sorry, but what is that? I don't like copying Spurs, but we're about to get Pochettino. Maybe we should copy them for sacking the interim manager as well. I love Frank, but Pice just told us before we went live, he's 2 games away, and those 2 are Arsenal away and Bournemouth away. Our bogey ground anyway. From equaling Frank de Boer's record of the worst Premier League manager in history. Well, obviously it would be a bit different for Frank because he's had other games at other clubs and stuff and us as well, but it will be 7 losses in 7 games. Do you really think we're going to beat Arsenal or get a draw against Arsenal or against Bournemouth? Well, I flipping don't. It's actually worse in the Prem, is it? De Boer got sacked after 4 L's in a row. See, it was just 7 in all comps. Brilliant. Just great, Frank. Again, it's not all Frank's fault, but my God, man. See, if he played a feasible team, if he played like Chukwuemeka and a few of the youngsters, and not just players who we know won't be here next season, and even if they will, definitely won't play a part next season if someone like Aspi decides, I'd rather stay for the last year of my contract. But we will have 2 other right backs then, mate. So you literally won't play. If he played players that will actually be here and started the Maduekes and the Mudryks and Badiashile and I don't know who even else, Chukwuemeka, like I say, fair. But no, if you do that, like I say, no matter whether the players care, whether the players try, I'll be honest, would I try if I went into a game where I felt my manager has no idea what he's doing? And I honestly feel like he has no idea what he's doing. Sorry, Jay, I'll go to Pice first. Let me hear what Pice has to say.
No worries, man.
Bro, I've said a lot there, but similar thoughts, different thoughts. Is there any part of you that, I guess 2 questions, that thinks we should maybe sack Lampard again? And the other question is, do you think we could actually sack Lampard again?
I could certainly see some sort of mutual agreement where Poch comes in early, but I honestly don't want him to. I want him to start fresh in the summer. I don't want him to be subjected to this mess, to be honest with you. But at the same time, when you're watching that game tonight and the previous games, this was by far the worst game, absolutely hands down. I genuinely...
No, Brighton was way worse in my opinion.
Oh,
man. Keep saying it, don't we? Just keep saying it.
Maybe partly because Brighton were actually good and Brentford didn't do anything, but Yeah, it doesn't matter what's worse. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, it was literally like a pre-season game. You know, there were so many empty seats. We played better in pre-season games actually, so it was worse than a pre-season
not
game.
last pre-season though.
You know what? I tell you what. If I go back, I bet you we had some more attacks than we did tonight. It was just you look at that lineup. I took one look at the lineup and I thought, this is horrendous. I don't know how he could possibly look at that team or look at the players in training throughout. The time that we had off, we had quite a few days off before this game, like a whole week, right? 8 days or something.
Yeah.
And he picks that. I mean, not even two attackers. You got one attacker, Sterling, up front by himself, and you have Gallagher behind him. It was literally like a 3-6-1. It was an absolute piss take. I was genuinely convinced he was trying to sabotage us or something.
Yeah, genuinely.
I'm so confused. I'm so baffled. I'm not even angry. I'm past the point of anger. I was more angry when the lineup came out because once the game started, I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Like, he's chose this. It is what it is. He's fucked it already from minute one. I was just waiting for that Brentford goal to come. It came. Brought two attackers on at half time. Aubameyang's clearly not match sharp, so of course he did nothing. Mudryk had a couple of nice moments, but still, really.
Also lost the ball.
No one's got any confidence, bro. No one's got any confidence. Enzo was passed the ball out off the pitch a couple of times. Kante was losing the ball. None of these players have got any confidence.
Yeah, our best player was probably Chalobah playing right back.
They literally all look fucking depressed out there. They need a boost. They need to lift. And I honestly, I've had some bad takes in the past, but my worst take has been like putting this scenario in my head of Lampard's actually going to revive the team a little bit. I could not have been more wrong. I could not have been more wrong. It is literally worse than what it was under Graham Potter. The game that Graham Potter got sacked, where we lost against Aston Villa, we had like 25 fucking chances. Like, we're not even getting near the goal now. We're not even getting near the goal. Like, it's genuinely... I have no words. I genuinely have no words. It is just... I know I've said a lot, but probably waffle. I can't put it into words, bro. It's just, what am I witnessing? This is just... It's utter disgrace. I genuinely don't know how you can have them in charge for Arsenal. We're losing 4 or 5-0. That's for damn sure. These players... Honestly, I don't know whether to blame them or...
Imagine if we played City right now. It would literally be double digits.
We're playing them soon. We're playing them soon. We've got to beat either Brentford... not Brentford. Fucking Bournemouth or Forest. We've got to beat them to stay up.
Forest beat Brighton 3-1 today, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's
honestly,
brilliant.
It's...
We're getting battered. You know how we sing about Tottenham get battered everywhere they go? Well... Why don't we sing Tottenham and Chelsea? Because we flipping get battered everywhere.
Brentford was singing that. Brentford was singing Chelsea get battered everywhere.
Was it that? I thought it was Chelsea singing about Tottenham.
No, Brentford was singing that at the end of the game.
And are they wrong? Absolutely not. They're exactly spot on, and that's the depressing bit. Honestly, Jay. And to be honest, guys, like I wasn't like, oh yes, Lampard bring it back when they initially came out, but I definitely wasn't sat here saying it's the worst idea ever and it's going to go so much worse. So I was clear. I might not have been as wrong, but I was certainly also wrong. I'd be honest, I don't think anyone that was serious, other than like, joking, Lampard shit, no one was seriously expecting it to get this bad. Like, we obviously all knew that after Madrid, if that wasn't going to go our way, and none of us really expected it to go our way, the season was done and then it was difficult. But to then not play some of the players like a Chukwuemeka, like the players that have something to fight for in the sense of fighting for a place in the team, impressing the potential next manager, playing all the players that will, or a lot of players that will most likely leave next season anyway. It's just like, what? I mean, Jay, I'll come to you. Obviously, your thoughts on today. I'll ask you a similar question. Do you think we should potentially still sack Lampard? Obviously, like Pai said, if at all, we just shouldn't bring another interim manager in. If at all, it should be if Pochettino agrees to come in earlier. But I say that, would another interim manager be better? But arguably more importantly, do you think that the board could at all consider it, especially now that they've just seen Spurs do it?
Yeah. Oh man, it's so difficult, isn't it? The situation, because I think if Poch is the guy, I think, you just said it there. Like, I don't know if I want to throw him into this mess. This has been nothing but a downward trajectory from Tuchel leaving. There was like one spike during that time, and it was probably Dortmund. That was it. And it's been going downhill, downhill, downhill. And to throw Poch in here, especially now against Arsenal, who have just, been battered. Like, it feels unfair. I don't want his time, or whoever it may be, but it's probably looking like it's going to be him. I don't want their time to start here, because that's just setting them up for failure, isn't it? It's like it's just not giving them any sort of chance. Like, I think Poch he wants preseason, he wants time to get rid of players. He's already spoke about getting rid of players like almost instantly. I think there's a period of time I was reading that you can sell players in June to, I think it's domestic teams, and then that counts on these books, on this season's books instead of next season's or whatever. So we're definitely going to want to do that because of how much money we've spent. So like, he needs that to start, and I think if we throw him in now with 30 players and the mess, and none of them look with any confidence, I feel like it's just not helping him. But then on the other side, like, does it get any better than this? Because, we've said it every single game now. That was the worst game. This was the worst. I feel like every stat just seems to be decreasing. We'll soon have no shots on target with no possession, because it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And it's difficult to say, yeah, we should keep going like this, especially when you say, when you think about after the Real Madrid game, like, with what's to come, with all the games to come, we've got to think about the future now, because this season's over. We're not getting anything, out of Europe. We're not going to finish much higher than 9th.
This season, we need to get a point or win a game. This season, not over until we do that. I'm being genuinely. I never thought I'd say this. Genuinely, I'm fucking scared now after what I watched tonight. We just one game. Just turn up for one game. Like, honestly.
I mean,
one game, please.
39 points tends to be enough, and it probably will be enough as well. But I mean, is relegation a serious threat? No, like I said, Forest beat Brighton 3-1. Like, that's another team that is scrapping relegation, coming closer. And we touched on it. Will we even win another game? Like, I can bring up our remaining games. Like, obviously not Wrexham, that's pre-season. Until Newcastle.
We're losing that as well.
we probably will do. Oh my days. But like, we're already on 5 losses in a row. By the end of the season, we will be on, well, we can just count it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll be on 11 losses in a row. Like, I understand that it would be stupid to sack Lampard in a way. I totally understand, and I agree. But like, remember when everyone was talking about this is Chelsea and the expectations when Potter was here? We're seriously talking about when none of us actually think we will win a game. But none of us even are sure that we will even get a point. Like, imagine we got 11 losses in a row. Imagine that. Like, oh my days. It's so bad. It's so bad. I can't even get my head around it, how bad it is. Like, I mean, if I go to the page before, unfortunately, it doesn't show me in one go here. Like, look at this. This is when we sacked Potter, and this is what happened since. The only game we didn't lose was when we had flipping Bruno Salto. My days.
Bro, we were saying after that Everton game where we conceded, it was an absolute disgrace at the end. I would die to have a point right now.
Mate, exactly. Give me all the draws, man. Give me all the. That's what I'm saying. Like, we still try to dominate games. Am I frank? Have you seen us play? Just park the bus, man. Just tell the team never leave the box and just stay there. Just, hope. And we might get a 0-0 draw that way. We most certainly aren't getting a draw any other way, because we will not keep a clean sheet like this, and we don't score goals. So, my God. I mean, I'll bring the lineup up on screen, including the subs. Obviously, in the second half, we played a different formation. We'll get to that when we get to it. Call it a 3-5-2 if you want. If you want to put Kante in midfield, but Gallagher, call it that if you want. It doesn't really matter. Kante, as always, was, of course, the most advanced midfielder, because that's a smart thing to do. I mean, he's better than the others at that, to be fair to him. But what is this formation, man? I mean, sorry. This is just a disgrace. It's just a disgrace. Like, to be fair to Azpilicueta, I felt bad for him because obviously he scored the own goal. I tweeted at some point during the first, I'm like, well, fair play to him. Him and Gallagher are the only ones actually trying, and Chilwell and Kante, I guess. And then he scores the own goal. Like, why? Why did Azpilicueta play right wing back? Like, I mean, to be fair, people said it to me, but like, people have literally, it was reported that during the Madrid game when Reece got injured, or picked up the injury and looked like he might have to come off, apparently we send Ruben to warm up. But today, no, of course, we don't start Ruben at right wing back, who's played, dozen games this season there and played at least acceptably well on every single occasion. No, we play Aspi there. Brilliant. And then he tells us before the game, yeah, we want to play attacking on the front foot. We want to get more goals, get in higher areas of the pitch. I'm like, sorry, but you played one attacker. Then he said we need to be physical. And he leaves out Badiashile, our taller centre-back. And he plays Aspi over Ruben. But we want to be physical. And then we concede from a set piece. Oh, shock. Oh, wonder. How surprising. Oh, when I saw the team, like Pai said, like that annoyed me more than the whole game today. I'm like, and I even saw it coming. But was Chukwuemeka even on the bench? Like, what is the whole point? What even is the point? Like, why do we even turn up? I know if we forfeited the game, it would be 3-0, wouldn't it? But we should just do that. We generally should just turn up, boldly say, sorry, no, we're not good enough at the moment. Just lose 3-0 and hope we don't get relegated. Like, literally, it's just, I'm at the end. I'm at the end of all patience, literally.
Yeah, I think that's the most worrying thing as well, isn't it, mate? I think that's the most worrying thing, isn't it? Like, if we lose this game, but those players you've mentioned start and we look a bit brighter, mate, it's easier to take. We can see a future, we can see a plan, and it's a better feeling all around. But the fact that we're getting this lineup and everything Frank's saying, he's kind of doing the opposite. That's where the worryingness and that's where the anger comes from, isn't it? That's why we all feel the way we do right now.
Yeah. That's exactly it, mate. I mean, I told you guys before we went live, I didn't think we would have a lot of viewers because I felt like no Chelsea fans will care. Well, here we are with nearly 600 viewers. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate that. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Road to 20,000 subscribers. Every new subscriber counts. Subscribe to Jay's channel down below as well. And of course, check out Pice's website, londonsfirst.com. Links are down in the description. I mean, Pice, you touched on it earlier already, but I mean, what can you even say when you see this team? Whether it's a 3-5-2, 3-5-1-1, 3-6-1, it doesn't really matter. 3-4-3 with Kante. It's just dreadful. At the end of the day, like, we are so dreadful. People even think Enzo is bad now. And I'll be honest, the last 5 games, he didn't play acceptably well in any of those. But should I be critical of Enzo now? Like, I've seen what the guy can do. Like, imagine you're Enzo Fernandez. You come here for 120 million. You literally, you do everything to join us in January. And then this happens. Like, you literally, and you're tied to here until 2032. Like, the guy must... I wonder how he sleeps. He must have nightmares. Like, literally, he must be regretting everything. Like, I would if I was him. Imagine not being a Chelsea fan and then you're here and you're like, what have I done? Like, obviously we can hope with Poch and everything, but again, we've got another few games. Like, there's no hope. There's no hope anymore, Pies. Is the lineup the worst thing about all of today?
Oh yeah, 100%. This was just absolutely disgustingly outrageous. Every word you could possibly describe it with. It was just, I don't even know, bro. I wish we had some expert of the English language, like a thesaurus in front of me, because I could just, honestly, it was absolutely abysmal. I could not believe he didn't play Badiashile. I could not believe that we had Felix, Mudryk, Madueke, Pulisic, Aubameyang. Was there another attacker all on the bench? I'm sure there was. Maybe.
Was Chukwuemeka on the bench?
Chukwuemeka out of the squad again. Like, what the fuck is going on? Honestly, it is so infuriating, bro. I saw that lineup though. I was angry for 5 minutes, and then I was like, you know what? Like, it just is what it is. He's a clown. We all know that. He can't manage a team. He doesn't know what he's doing. Like, let's be honest. Like, just move on. I can't even, honestly. It's just, yeah, awful.
It's a disgrace. And I mean,
none of it made sense, bro. In the first half, right, every time we had the ball, players would look up, no one to pass to. Sterling had 3 centre-backs on him. Brentford are notoriously one of the hardest teams to break down in the league, as it is. If you play an attacking lineup. With this, we had no chance. Absolutely no chance. No. It was just...
No, if anything, like, if we're going to go with this kind of lineup, at least actually defend and then try to counterattack. But we didn't even do that. We still tried to dominate possession. I'm like, what is the flipping point? How do you think you're going to break them down with Sterling and 5 midfielders? Like, how is that ever going to happen? And I mean, if Rhys James Kingdom says it, LMAO, Lampard started Gallagher. And Gallagher was probably one of the best players. And then, like, not that he was any good, but probably better than most of the other ones. at least he gets a plus point for effort, which most of the others didn't, which doesn't get you much. But I saw Gallagher stand there every time he got the ball, he tried something. Every time he didn't have the ball, he was shouting at players to help him press. And then he is the first guy that he takes off. I'm like, what? Like, he wasn't good. But really? He is the guy who just... it's a disgrace. You know what? We're gonna flip it around today because we always end up giving the defenders, like, not the worst ratings, and we'll see what we do about that today. But let's start with the attackers again for once, because I don't know, these defenders... They have nothing to do all game. One is a stupid own goal. The other one is a ridiculous deflection by Enzo Fernandez, I think. And otherwise, they actually didn't have to do anything or dealt with it well. And then you sit there and lose 2-0, and still the chat and all the fans and most of us are probably still going to be harsh on them, and you're like, you're shit. When they had 2 moments in the game and like no one else does anything. So let's just start it off with Sterling. You know what? Let's just start it off. What can I even say? I almost want to... Because I also feel awful for him. Now, in the second half, different, because then he was on the wing. And there was moments where he did 1 or 2 positive things. But for the most part, especially in the first, I'm like, he doesn't know what to do in this position. No one else knows what to do with him in this position. The only players that knew what to do in this situation with Sterling as a striker was the Brentford defenders. They were the only ones that knew what to do. I feel bad for rating him lowly, but I need to rate him harshly. But it's not really his fault. Like, even if he can't be bothered, and he didn't look like he was bothered, and he didn't look like he tried particularly hard, with the exception of a few moments. But still, I don't even really blame him, even though I'm now going to give him a low rating. I'm going to give him a 2. Is that even too high? Pies, is it too high?
I genuinely think you should give him an NA. I'm not even joking, bro. Like, what can he do? What can he do?
The second half on the wing, but yeah.
Apart from maybe taking his man on a little bit more, which actually he did a couple of times. And to be fair, one thing I want to say as well, bloody hell, there was not one good cross today. They all hit the first man.
Yeah.
Enzo, Chilwell, Sterling, Chalobah, all of them. I couldn't believe it. And that just, again, goes to show lack of confidence. So, yeah, I mean... 1, 0, 2, NA, any of those would be justifiable, I think. Just depends what way you want to look at it, I guess. For me, I'd go NA because I genuinely, I don't know how you can, maybe you can give him a rating for the second half, in which case it'd probably be a 1 because he was shit. But, you know, even then, like, fucking hell, I mean, imagine you as him. You come from Man City, you know, like, all these world-class players, this perfect system, perfect football. And then you get told you're playing with Conor Gallagher up top on your own today. Like, fuck me, man. I'd be fuming. I'd refuse to play personally.
Yeah, honestly, you'd have to get there. I mean, Jay, Price kind of is alluding at the NA. I feel like we can't really do that for a player that, did he play the whole game? No, he got subbed off after 80 minutes. Yeah, I mean, like, as much as I do think it's not mainly the player's fault at this point, I think it was also, it's too easy and it's also too nice to just completely let them off the hook. Like, you know, yeah, the system is bad, but you lot of all, like, everyone in this team has played in capable football teams before. If you realize your manager doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, it's not like you've never played a game of football before and couldn't figure it out. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like we still did anything. I mean, he had 1 attempt, but he just shot on his left foot. It was just like, what are you even doing? But what would you give him? What would you say, Jay?
Yeah, no, I do agree. I do agree with you, lads. The first half, it's harsh to kind of, you know, because the system was just so not built for a player like him and everything we know about Sterling. But I think one of the biggest problems with Chelsea right now feels to be the attitude, you know, and I think he embodies that. Like, he really just doesn't give a shit when he's playing, or at least he looks that way. And that really puts, you know, a bad taste to my mouth. Like, yeah, you might not be set up to win here, but like you just said, these are world-class footballers. They should be able to pull something out, you know, from most attacking positions. But they don't seem to have the right attitude to try and even do that. And yeah, today I think Sterling really captured that for me. So I was thinking around a 1, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, You know what? Let's just give him a 1. Because I don't really know what to do with passes. Then A kind of agreed anywhere between a 0 and a 2. So I take that as a 1. Just give him a 1. Let's take it to Gallagher. Again, it's difficult to speak much about these players. I mean, how often did Sterling touch the ball? Let me see. To be fair, he had 53 touches. Certainly didn't flip and feel like it.
No.
Gallagher 26 in total. I mean, if I look at the stats, they're probably not that bad. And he was one of those that probably deserve a slightly higher rating in terms of the players that were slightly higher up the pitch. I don't know. I'd probably say like something like a 4. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, it's. I think everything I just said about Sterling, you flip it with Gallagher. He was shit, but he gave a fair amount of effort. And when you're in the dumps, you want to see a little bit of fight. He had a bit of that, but his ability and also the position that he's been played in really isn't doing him any favors. We all know he's okay, but yeah, I think a 3 would be just about right for him.
There you go. Give him a 3 even. Pice, I said 4. Jay said 3. What about you? Did you even agree that he looked like at least trying more than others and therefore looked a bit better than maybe others in the first half? Or did you not even agree with that?
No, not really. Probably go with a 1, to be honest. It was terrible. Didn't really do anything. I can't lie. Don't really blame him either. But yeah, I mean, it's just why pick him? I don't understand it. It's just.
I mean, he's the only player that scored a goal on a Frank Lampard. So I would pick him if I was Frank, probably.
And even that was deflected.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'd go over 1. I thought he didn't impact the game at all. I can't remember anything good he did personally, unless I'm missing something.
No, fair enough. I mean, as an actual good moment, no, I probably agree. So maybe I've gone too high, but hey, here we are. Give him a 2.5, then I guess. Let's get to N'Golo. Another one where I never really know what to make of him because he constantly ends up having all of our chances, but he's N'Golo Kante, not exactly Erling Haaland. Although, Erling Haaland could score anything today either. And City still scored 4 goals, even though he could have had a hat-trick. That's the only good thing about today. Arsenal ain't winning the league. Brilliant. That's one positive. But yeah, with Kante, he wasn't bad. Like, he ran around all game long, had a few interceptions and, stole the ball back a few times, had a few good dribbles and shit. But at the end of the day, he had most of our chances and he missed most of them. I mean, I say most of the chances. He didn't have a lot either. But Pice, did Kante do enough to get higher than a 4 for you?
No, I would give him a 2, only marginally better than Gallagher, in my opinion. I thought he was pretty bad. I mean, he was, trying to weave through, and he could have probably had an assist to Aubameyang, but Aubameyang slipped, and then a weak shot afterwards. But yeah, no, he lost the ball so many times today. Was quite sloppy. So yeah, I'd give him a 2, honestly.
Fair enough. I mean, Jay, what about you? A 2 from Pice? Do you think it's a bit harsh? Would you agree? What do you think?
It's not too harsh. No, I think most of the players today are going to have really low ratings, aren't they? He today, yeah, I think, my God, imagine if Kante had a lesson in shooting, he'd be one of the best players in the world. I think he could do everything literally then. But
mate, he would probably be the best player ever.
Yeah, literally, he could literally do anything. But no, it's just, it feels frustrating, isn't it, with Kante? He's getting these chances and you just don't want him to be that guy, but he feels like he's the only one trying to move a little bit to get into those positions. Like, realistically, shouldn't someone like a Gallagher or Sterling be in those positions and not him? But because of his work ethic, he is doing that. So I think that's why I'd be inclined to give him a higher score. And especially if I'm looking at Gallagher's score there, 2.5, he was definitely better than him.
Yeah, so I agree. But I mean, I guess I'm the one that ruined that with my 4. I take it down to a 3 and we give Gallagher a 2 overall. Maybe that helps, but still.
I was going to give him a 3. I think a 3 is probably just about fair for him.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I would have gone 4. Well, I would have maybe gone even maybe 4.5-ish with Gallagher the 4, but I've changed that, so I'm going to give Kante a 4. Therefore, leaves that at a 3, which, is it nice? Is it harsh? I don't know. Like, none of these 3 played anywhere near their actual position where they should be playing. So that's why, except Sterling in the second half, of course, it just feels like ridiculous. that they even have to do what they had to do today. All three of them, really, it's just mental. Let's get to Enzo Fernandez. Poor. I just say it straight up as it is. Like Pies touched on, he played the ball out of play. I mean, his pass accuracy was apparently okay, 91%, but 5 long balls he attempted. Compare that to the few games on the pot that he had. He had 1 ground duel. Apparently 1 tackle attempted, 0 of them successful. Like, he just didn't do anything. But again, if I'm a 120 million euro player and then I join the club and then I'm on 5 losses in a row, I would struggle as well, I'll tell you that much. But in terms of how he played, I actually don't, because he had a much easier job in terms of he actually had a bit of space sometimes, unlike a Sterling, even unlike a Gallagher. And considering that, generally don't think it deserves higher than like a 2. You know, I'll give him like a 2. Maybe I could push it to a 3, but not really. Pice, what do you reckon for Enzo?
Yeah, probably a 2, something like that. I thought he was, pretty bad. All of the players were pretty bad. I'd say maybe bar 1 or 2, maybe. But he was ineffective. I don't remember any passes he made that created even half a chance. I mean, I still can't believe we haven't got much choice, but I still can't believe he hasn't had a rest yet. I think it's quite incredible, to be honest. But
yeah, I mean, like you said, the last game now was 8 days ago, so resting him now wouldn't have helped much. And the next game is in a week as well. But I still agree, though. But yeah, I mean, a 2 from our end, Jay. Would you agree with a 2? Would you give it something different?
No, I think a 2 is fair, lads, isn't it? Like, I feel like he was literally just there to pass the ball to and either pass it next to him or probably lose it. Like, he just didn't offer much today, did he? I would have given him a 2 as well.
There you go. I mean, when I see we scored 11 goals in 20 games, to be honest, when I read it, I'm like, did we? It feels like we didn't even score that, if I'm perfectly honest. But 11 goals in 20 games, you know how bad that is. You know, when we beat Aston Villa 2-0, when Steven Gerrard's last game, at that point, we were 6th and they were, I can't remember what position, but they... like, it's so embarrassing where they've gone since then and where we've gone since then. Oh my God. Like, it's... Honestly, imagine Unai Emery seeming like a good manager all of a sudden to a Chelsea fan. Imagine that. So imagine thinking that back in 2019. Think about that. And most of our fan base didn't even like the manager we had at that time. And still we laughed at Emery. And now I flip and bite your hand off to have Emery right now. I tell you that much. Oh my God. But yeah, let's give Enzo that 2. And let's move on to Kovacic, who genuinely was one of the worst players on the pitch. Like, genuinely didn't think he did anything useful. And this is a very small thing I'm going to mention now, so maybe it's a bit harsh because I picked out that moment, but we had a bit of a moment to break and he just actually for once passed the player, and then he tried to like flick the ball on with like the outside of his boot and just didn't even give enough power on it and just ruined a break. And I'm just like, if you can't even roll past the ball 4 yards anymore, like, what are you even doing? I don't understand why he plays. Again, why wouldn't you allow Chukwuemeka the pitch? Why? Just why? Or just play Kante there and play an actual attacker further forward. How about that? Who would have heard of that before? It's just disgraceful. It's just, I give him a 1. Maybe I should give him a 0. I don't know. But it feels harsh if I give him a 0, and I didn't to Sterling. And so I'm going to say 1. But Jay, do you agree that he was really bad? Would you even go lower than a 1, or would you go higher than that, actually?
I don't know if I could go higher. I really don't know. Maybe, yeah, he really annoyed me today. You know what? Kovacic has annoyed me for a past couple. I mean, most of them have annoyed me for the past couple weeks. It might be harsh singling him out, but he has been, in this run of form, one of the worst players out of the terrible bunch. But I just don't know what's up with him. He just doesn't seem to be clicking the way he does. He seems to lose the ball. Every pass seems to feel like it just going to them and not to one of our players. Definitely the worst today. So I can't give him more than maybe 0.5. I think 0.5 would be okay. You
know what? I'm actually agree. Even though I still feel nice. Maybe you know what? Actually, it's fair because Lampard gets the only 0. I've agreed with myself. Plus 2 0.5s. I know he's your guy, but first of all, what would you rate it? But how do you explain what you're seeing? Like, yeah, maybe overplaying, but And Pice, I have a question. My girlfriend told me that she read some quotes from Kovacic about how happy he's in London and how he would like to stay in London. Didn't necessarily specify Chelsea, so I guess that could mean somewhere else. But did you see those quotes? Because I didn't see them anywhere. So I was surprised by those. But it doesn't look like he's bothered. He doesn't look like he can do much at the moment. I can't even explain how he looks this bad.
Yeah, he was terrible, to be honest with you. Just looking at some of his stats here, I mean, it's 3 out of 7 ground duels. I mean, it really topped it off when I think the last kick of the game, he literally tried to pass it away and he booted it off the pitch. Like, it does not get any lower than this, honestly.
I don't think I was paying attention then anymore.
Oh, I was, unfortunately. I was just waiting to see what the reaction would be like at full time. But yeah, no, he was dreadful. I did see those quotes. I think he actually gave an interview to Chelsea Fifth Stand Up, but I probably just forgot to tweet it. But
I think it was. I think I was told it was a German outlet, but I could be wrong on that though.
Well, I thought I saw it on the. I thought I saw Chelsea tweet it out, but maybe I was wrong.
So maybe I'm wrong then. You could absolutely be right, yeah, because that's what I was confused about. I was like, Cover is Pice's guy. If there was quotes from him, I swear I would have seen the Pice tweet about it. But maybe you just forgot about it. It could obviously happen. I mean, what rating would you give him, man? Would you agree with us? Do you think he was like worse than a lot of the others, or do you disagree with that, or do you just think they were all almost equally as bad?
I mean, probably. Yeah, they were almost equally as bad, to be honest. But I'll give him what you guys have given him. I want to give him like a 1, to be honest. Like,
hey, you can. It doesn't change the rating, but we'll have it remembered.
It's just like a sympathy point at the end of the day. I'd probably give a sympathy point to Gallagher when I give him a 1. Really, they should probably be 0s. But I mean, I just don't.
I'm not sure if you have sympathy points for Gallagher. I'm not sure about that one, Chief.
But genuinely, like I like you guys, I can't understand what's happened to him. Especially him at the World Cup, he was just so good for Croatia. He was so good. Like, he's not dribbling anymore, and he's just so shit at passing again. Like, I mean, I know it's hard with our fucking team, and especially today, but like, bloody hell, like, I don't know, man. He's proper fell off.
Yeah, but, he really did.
You know, everyone's playing shit at the end of the day, so it's probably a confidence thing.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Who shall we do first? Shall we do Chile first? Because Aspi was more involved in the defending stuff, and he was particularly successful at it. Chile. Give Kante a 4. I may give Chile a 3. He was poor as well, but maybe I thought a tiny bit like, again, effort, just doing more. Like, you know, we know how often did Aspi even touch the ball other than the flipping own goal? Like, I mean, every time we did anything, it was Chile and Gallagher doing anything in the first half. I mean, not that it often worked, but it was the only ones that tried. But it obviously wasn't good either. You know what? I'll change my mind. I say 2.5, even though, especially when it's this miserable, I always feel like a bit of a nerd when I give 0.5 ratings out. But a 3 feels a bit too high, a 2 feels a bit too low, so I'm going to say 2.5. I let Pice go first, Jay, and then I'll let you do Chilwell and Aspi 1 go before you need to head off. So, Pice, Chile, do you think I'm being nice? What do you reckon?
You know, I was just looking at some of his stats again. I thought his crossing was abysmal. He had 1 out of 7 crosses, which is a 14% rate. You know what? I thought he tried. To be fair, I thought he tried. There was, you know, he definitely had more urgency than the other players. You know, he was definitely trying to bomb forward. But again, with the amount of players in, you know, Brentford had back, it was just constantly, you know, kind of drive up the pitch, and then what type thing, you know, play it to Mudryk. Like, it was just, I don't know. He tried.
Don't do me like that. I can't calm down, all right? Don't do me like that, please. Sorry, Pice.
I give him I give him a 2 because he did have some other okay stats, but yeah, he was probably like one of the only ones that tried, to be fair. So I'll give him a 2. He was still shit. I mean, 1 out of 7 crosses.
I just feel like it's. I almost feel harsh to give Chile the same rating as Enzo. I think Chile was a lot better than Enzo, and they were both poor. But I still thought Chile, like I didn't even notice Enzo other than when he conceded when he deflected the goal for the 2-0. Really, I didn't even see him most of the time. So
I mean, maybe that's a better thing than watching Chilwell misplace every single cross.
It's also true. But then again, there was never anyone in the box, so who could he have even crossed it to? Like, do you know what I mean? Like if you have Sterling in the box and 6 Brentford players, how are you supposed to complete a cross? Do you know what I mean? Can you even criticize the bad crossing percentage? Because were they all bad crosses? Some of them, sure, but they weren't all bad. But I mean, anyways, his corners were bad. That's for damn sure. Jay, finish that Chilwell off for us. A 2 and a 2.5. What would you give him, bro?
Yeah, God, I didn't know about that stat is just poor, isn't it? About the crossing, I didn't really realize that in the game. I thought first half he was pretty trash, like everyone. Second half when Mudryk came on, I feel like he did liven up a little bit. There was a few little moments down that wing where we thought maybe something would happen, and it did definitely feel the more dangerous kind of the two wings, especially in that second half. But yeah, it's tough for Chilwell, and yeah, you just mentioned it then. The corners, my God, we need to sack whoever our set piece specialist is, because we can't.
He's left, to be fair, Anthony Barry, so that's good.
Good, because we can't defend them. We can't actually create anything from them. It's so bad. When it goes out for a corner, I get upset because it's like, oh, good, we've wasted a chance.
It's so true. Like, you know, when like a team is bad, you know, no matter what other team that is, whether it was like the Sunderlands of back in the day or all sorts of bad teams, but they were always a bit dangerous from set pieces. No, we are just shit and are also shit at set pieces. We're more likely to concede when we have a corner than to score when we have a corner, man. Like it's literally like that. Sorry, Jay. Rating for Chile before we move to Aspie.
It's so true. I was going to give him a 3, but after hearing some of the stats, I think I agree with 2.5, to be honest.
Fair. Let's give him that 2.5. Go to Aspie. I'll let you go first, Jay, because I know you need to head off. Got an early start tomorrow, but got the own goal, subbed at halftime. I don't necessarily think he was the worst player in the first half, other than the own goal. But it's just typical that he would just then concede the own goal. How does that even happen? Like, he didn't even leave the floor. You know, when the ball hits you in the air, you're like, you can't really do anything about it anymore. And I know he probably thought someone before him was going to get a flick. Therefore, he wasn't kind of prepared for the ball to get to him. But, bro, you're the captain. You can't just not be prepared for the ball to get to you at a corner. Like, oh, you're at the edge, you're in the 6-yard box, would have never seen the ball coming here. What a surprise. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Be ready. You're the captain. Oh, it's just... Go on, Jay. What rating would you give him? What do you have to say?
Well, yeah, and with that corner as well, it's the positioning. Like, I think he kind of gets caught in the middle, looking a little bit lost, whereas he should have... I feel like he should be doing... Like, he shouldn't really be where he is. I feel like Kepa, that should be Kepa's space. I feel like he's just in front of him. He should maybe a little bit further back, or even by the post. I feel like that was the poor kind of decision making from him. And yeah, like I feel like for most of that half, he really was absent. He got forward a few times, I think, but nothing obviously came of it. You mentioned it right at the start before we started the ratings. Like, he hasn't played in so long, and Loftus-Cheek has been playing there, and even Chalobah's had a little go at there before he's come back in. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to throw him in, maybe, especially as a wing back as well. Like, maybe as in the back four, it might have worked. But yeah, he looked absent. I almost feel bad for him. Though. I feel like this is one of those where it's like it feels harsh, but yeah, he really didn't do enough, did he? I think rating wise, I feel like if we look at some of the other ones, he was probably as good as Enzo, not as good, as bad as Enzo. So 2, I think 2 seems fair, maybe.
But with
maybe
an own goal on top of that, though.
Yeah, I guess with the own goal, you're right. Yeah, 1.
Yeah,
I
might be leaning in a similar direction, even if it feels a tad harsh. But you scored an own goal, man. Someone in chat said he's the only 35-year-old who acts and plays like a 50-year-old. He isn't even 35. He's 33. But to be fair, when he kept up with Rico Henry, I was like, "Oh, look at you go, Aspie." But, you know, that was when all the energy was, you know, sucked from him, and then there was none left. Jay, I know you need to head off. I appreciate you very much for giving us a bit of your time. Everybody, please do subscribe to Jay's channel. Link is down in the description. Subscribe to him and help him get just more subscribers. You know, there's nearly 400 of you here. If a fair few of you go over there, we can help Jay out. So please do that. Jay, have a good rest of your day, and we'll chat to you soon, bro.
Appreciate you so much, everyone. Like the stream and that. Nice to speak to you both. And I'll see you in the next one, lads. Nice one.
Cheers, man.
Nice.
Aspie, is the own goal enough for you to give him a 0, or what do you think?
I mean, unless we give Lampard negative ratings, then Aspie's going to get a 1.
Yeah, no, okay.
but yeah, I mean, fucking hell. I almost feel sorry for him, honestly.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised when he kept up with Rico Henry, to be fair, on that pace battle. But he scored
He
an own
was
goal.
strong, like he was giving everything. I was like, fair play,
Yeah, again, another question. Why didn't you play Loftus-Cheek? I don't get it. He makes no sense.
None, bro, none.
Yeah, I have to go over one. He was terrible, really. If you have to, you can say anything. He was terrible. Own goal was a bit unlucky, but yeah, I mean, I almost feel sorry for him. Like, this may actually be a sympathy rating, like Azpi just leave him alone type thing.
I mean, like he had 27 touches. I know you only played the first half, but as a wing back to only have 27 touches, he was a wing back and had 0 tackles and 0 ground duels. Like, not that he didn't win any, he just had none, according to these stats here. Every duels he had two.
I saw a few people as well say, like, where's the leadership on the pitch? Like, where's he? He's not, there was no like urgency or anything. He was not pushing the team forward. But, I think we've known that for years of Azpi. Although he's been captain, I've never necessarily thought he was, the best of leaders on the pitch. In fact, I've been quite negative sometimes towards him. So, yeah, but those questions definitely have to be asked. What is being said in this dressing room? No effect whatsoever. It was
no, exactly.
Yeah, there's no effect. Whatever's been said.
Bro, I'm not sure if you noticed this, but I'll agree with the one, by the way. Let's get Azpi done. I'm not sure if you noticed this in the first half. It happened quite early. Thiago kind of played so Chalobah played the ball out of play with a weird pass, and then I'm not sure, we didn't see Thiago Silva, but from the direction of Thiago Silva, someone was clearly moaning at Chalobah, and Chalobah was like having absolutely none of it. Like, Chalobah proper snapped back and was like basically saying, well, why'd you give me such a shit pass, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is like, what more signs do you need that we're in deep, deep trouble when you have in the first half at 0-0 still, you have Chalobah like having a go at Silva after Silva had a go at Chalobah. Like, and I'm not trying to criticize Silva with this now at all, but you say the leadership, like, I love Thiago Silva, and he's one of the only blessings we've had this season. And since he's joined us, he's been absolutely wonderful. But he's the best leader either. And I know he's experienced and great, but I just think he's also a bit quiet to be this proper leader. Maybe it's the language, I don't know. But I mean, he's joined us, and we have never really looked any more like we had a serious leader than when we only had Azpi, right? Did we? I don't think so. Again, this is nothing like, I'm not trying to slag Silva off by any means. I'm just trying to say this doesn't just go for Azpi. Obviously, we lost Georgie. No, I'm not going to sit here and expect 22-year-old Enzo to be like the leader. But Azpi, Thiago Silva, Kovacic, I do expect it from them. I can't even expect it from Kante, but I should. But because, he's a nice guy and a quiet guy, we just let him off for not being the leader. But Chalobah, I guess, did okay, to be honest, mate. Like, didn't really necessarily, other than that pass out of play, didn't think it was necessarily an issue for anything in the first half. Second half at right back, honestly, I thought he was probably our best player. So, like, I don't know. I genuinely, because I don't think anyone even should get a 6, maybe. I just give him a 5, but I do think if we give much lower than that, it would be harsh. Did you disagree with him, boys?
No, I don't think he was too bad, to be fair. I think the difficult thing with the defenders is all they had to do today really was just pass the ball forward, make 5-yard passes. So
that's why I rated him in the second half when, like, as right back, he actually, like,
yeah, he was
helped
another
us create
one.
some pressure, I thought.
I wonder if I can check his crosses, because I thought he did a few shit crosses as well. I don't know.
He had 1 out of 6.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I knew it. The crosses today, bro. That was honestly every time.
I mean, Azpi had 0 out of 3.
Every time I looked forward, they just hit the first man. I was like, "What are you actually doing? Like, can you not cross the ball?"
Didn't have one, even though I thought he had one. But anyway, Kante, how many did he have? Crosses. He had 1 out of 3. Gallagher had. Did he even attempt to cross?
It was mainly from the sides, I thought. Chilwell.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But Kante, obviously, who was on the side, wasn't he? So.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he was fucking right wing at some points.
Exactly. And Sterling also had 1 out of 3. So, like, no one completed more than 1 cross in the whole game. So that's flipping brilliant.
I'll give him a 4 for those crossing stats. Sorry, he's gone down another bit.
Fair enough. Give him a 4.5. That's okay. Thiago Silva, I guess. I don't even know what to say about him. Don't think he did really anything wrong. The biggest sign of how bad we are was when Thiago Silva all of a sudden shot from 30 yards.
Yeah. And you're right, it's totally toxic as well, because he came out and was like having a go at the ownership pretty much, wasn't he? Indirectly. So you're right, it's so toxic in there. You know, there's definitely these journalists definitely holding back stories, because you can't play like that today and there's something seriously, you know. I mean, I guess they're all just depressed, but like, yeah, it's fucking some of the stuff, like what you know, Chukwuemeka, Lewis Hall and stuff. I haven't seen Lewis Hall in months, bro. It's so
And the
concerning.
last few times he played for us, he was our best player each time, other than the Liverpool.
I think that's got to be the most baffling thing of the last few weeks, to be fair.
And I'm not even going to be too harsh on Lampard for that, because by the time Lampard turned up, Potter hadn't used him for 3 months. But still, do you know what I mean?
Cucurella's out for like 3 weeks now, so hopefully, you know, we actually see him back in the squads, because those are the types of players we need right now. Just something, just a little bit of positive energy, something to
make
get
a Lewis Hall. These are the guys who should be playing. But yes, obviously Chalobah is okay. But if Chalobah, we're planning to sell Chalobah, and Diabolical, we will get to Mudryk. Don't worry, we will do the subs after we finish the starting 11. Those are the guys that should be playing. Have you seen reports of Silva go back to Brazil with his frustration lately? Could there be truth to it? I haven't seen the reports. I mean, he's contracted to us, so if we don't want to let him go, we can just choose not to. But we'll see what happens with that, I suppose. I do think everything will calm down a little bit once we have a new manager. Even appointing one could already help, if I'm honest. Maybe appointing the manager is what gets us another point or so for the rest of the season. But I mean, yeah, what did we do with Silva? He had a header, which, to be honest, he should have done better with. If I remember correctly, was one of our better chances, because we didn't have many, did we? But yeah, defensively, I didn't really notice him. I mean, it was Fofana had to cover for Silva for the second goal after Mudryk lost the ball, but that's okay. Like, you also have that when you play one older, experienced, slower, but one younger, faster centre-back. Like, they're supposed to help each other out in situations. That's not necessarily there to drag Silva. So, but if Chalobah gets a 4.5, I don't think, I think Chalobah is purely for just how involved he was in the second half. I think deserves probably highest of the 3, maybe similar to Fofana, but I just never see Silva do anything, like, at the moment. Like, I don't know if that's just me, if I just don't notice anything. Obviously, at 92% pass completion, but I won't tackle 2 ground duels. Okay, had a few aerial ones where he did well, but that's just Brentford punting the ball long and him winning a header. Like, it's not like he's clearing any dangerous chances out here. So if Chalobah gets a 4.5, I'd probably give Silva a 4. What would you do, bro? Even though I feel harsh, but you made that happen.
Yeah, I think the thing with Silva at the moment is there's just like no urgency, like in terms of just playing the ball forward. Yeah, I think that's the most disappointing thing. Again, like, he just looks completely deflated. And I agree, he should have done better on the header. But yeah, it didn't really have much to do, to be honest, because Brentford didn't attack. Like, they just sat back, and, you know, fair play to them. That should be literally just the game plan of every team. Chelsea aren't going to score, so let's just sit back and hit them on the break, because clearly can't defend counter attacks either. So, yeah, no, I don't know whether to give him a 5 or a 4. So probably a 5, to be honest. Yeah, I think.
Give him a 4.5, all the same as Chalobah then. And then we get to Fofana. Was it Henry Rico as well? Should he have been sent off for a little headbutt on Fofana? Maybe. It was also Fofana was really leaning into and over him. I never like the easy red cards, but if Fofana goes to ground, I guarantee the guy's sent off. So, and now what annoys me so much about the situations from refs is Fofana puts the ball down for our free kick. Henry Rico hits the ball away. The ref doesn't do anything. So then Fofana gets annoyed about it. Henry Rico loses his shit, gives Fofana a headbutt. Fofana even laughs about it, says, "Ref, did you see him? Did you see him?" And then what does the ref do? Give both yellow cards. And I'm like, see, Fofana, I love you, but you should have just gone to ground. You should have. But I also want to give him credit for trying, actually. I thought he stood out as one of the guys that, you know, seemed to not give up as much as a lot of others. We gave Chalobah and Silva 4.5. Shall we just give the whole back 3 or 4.5? Would you be in agreement with that, Pies?
Sorry, I've just seen a picture.
Shall we give the whole back 3 a 4.5, mate?
See,
Or
I
would
want
you
to
give
give
Fofana anything different?
Honestly, I was going to give Fofana a 6 until he messed up on that goal. He
Yeah.
messed up on the goal. It was too easy.
But only a little bit, though, because I'm like, he made sure he didn't get the easy cutback crossing. And then you also have other defenders that should be doing something, right? But
Yeah. No, I have to I'll give him a 5.
you know what?
yeah,
I'll agree, actually. I do
probably.
feel a bit harsh on Chalobah, but I still do think I rate Fofana highly. The guy your thoughts on the red card thing? Do you think it should have been a red card?
If he went down, it would have been a red card, guaranteed.
Yeah,
but he stayed up, so it didn't. Literally simple as that. Because if he made
do you think he's now stupid for not going down, or?
I'll never encourage a player to go down, to be fair. But if he did go down, it would have been because it would have gone to the VAR screen and he would have been sent off. Because he proper leaned into him, so he could have gone down.
No, exactly. He definitely could have done. But yeah, there you go.
Well, finish hard, so he wanted to fight him.
Yeah, I did quite enjoy it, Did quite enjoy it. Finish it over Kepa. Unless I'm misremembering something, I don't really think you want to blame him for any of the goals. Now, like Jay said earlier, I guess rather than Azpi standing in the 6-yard box, you could argue it should be Kepa that comes and just clears that ball. And yeah, maybe that's a criticism of Kepa, to be fair. At the same time, do we defend set pieces where the goalie is even supposed to do that? Otherwise, why would you put 3 players in that on a line behind each other in the 6-yard box? Like, then you're asking the defenders to clear them away and not, ask me to get another concussion. I mean, he didn't jump, but yeah, I mean, Kepa, for that, I would give him a little bit less, but for the other goal, I don't think he can do much. The distribution didn't stand out as awful to me, even though he nearly got caught second half by Toney, but just about didn't. So it's a goalie, and I only want to criticize him a little bit for the first goal. So I'd want to say like 5.5, but I guess I'm gonna give him a 5 because we conceded 2 goals, even though not much of that was Kepa's fault. But yeah, I must just say 5, I guess. Pice, what about you? I mean, do you think he was at fault for the first goal, or I don't think anyone can think he was at fault for the second one after it took a deflection as well?
Yeah, I don't really think he was at fault, to be fair. Yeah, it's a difficult one. I thought initially, like when the second one went in, he could have done better, but it was just deflected, and it was quite quick shot. So
yeah, and short distance.
Got beat his near post, but is what it is.
Because I think he saves it without the deflection. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, obviously, but it looked like the shot was going quite low, and he was going in the correct direction, and the deflection took it all of a sudden way above him. And I'm like, well, once you've jumped, you can't really just fly upwards. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, would you not give him a 5? Would you go with something different, bro?
I mean, to be fair, he didn't make a mistake, so I guess you could actually give him a 6. To be fair,
you could.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6 because he didn't make a mistake. So
hey, I'll take any high rating for Kepa I can get. There you go. I just switch it around now for the formation that we played in the second half. So it was Chalobah at right back, Fofana right centre back, Thiago Silva left side of centre back, Chile at left back. We had then Mudryk left wing, Sterling right wing, Aubameyang came on at half time. That was a shocker, really, that he came on. And then I guess, Felix came on a little later. I'm not sure really where Felix played at the end. Was it a 10? And then we played it like that? Probably. Yeah, that would make the most sense. I didn't really see what formation we played by the time Felix and Mudryk had come on, if I'm honest. But yeah, I mean, let's start with Aubameyang and Mudryk. Let's do Oba first. You touched on it earlier. Didn't look match sharp. A match sharp Aubameyang could have gotten yourself a goal or 2 today, most certainly, especially that one that he, in the end, unfortunately, kind of almost bobbled into the hands of the goalie quite centrally. He probably scores that when he's somewhat match fit, match ready. He isn't, so I'm not exactly shocked. Lampard now post-match said, well, he couldn't play against Madrid, so almost like, yeah, if he was available for that, I might have used him more in the other games before that as well. But also, Frank, it sounds like a load of waffle. Like, you decided to play Sterling up front, and now you're giving us order like, I respect Aubameyang, and I would have played him more. Well, no. You chose to play not a winger up front against Brentford instead of an actual striker. So, shut up. Just shut up. But Aubameyang had an impact. I thought Mudryk brought more of the impact, but Aubameyang certainly had a bit of an impact as well. It felt like at least there was someone in the middle when we tried to cross. Now, we never got the balls to him, but at least it felt like there was someone there. It was unfortunate when he slipped in that moment when can't remember who played him in, if I'm honest. But whoever played him in, and if he didn't slip there, maybe he scores. Who knows? He didn't. So I don't know. I don't think he was bad as such. So I'm thinking between like a 4 and a 5. Whereabouts are you thinking for him, Price?
Probably a 5 to be fair, because of those. Well, I'll say those missed chance. I mean, trying to think which one I'd judge him more harshly for. Yeah, probably the one where he like made that run, and like so not the one where he slipped, the one where he like made the run. I thought like he took the player on, and then his shot was really weak. Because I think the one where Kante played to him, I just said typical that he slipped. I mean, like if there could be any more like to add to our woes, like how would you sit there like
as if the own goal and deflected goal weren't enough?
Like the clear shooting opportunity fucking slipped. But yeah, I'll probably say 5. I don't think he's obviously not match sharp. Not even don't think he obviously wasn't. But he did make an impact. There was a focal point to cross to, which is what I've been saying this whole bloody time. I've never said Aubameyang is the answer, but at least if you put him on there, you give yourself half a chance if a ball, bobbles or anything. Chelsea fans, they can't even. There's no room for debate right now. Just play Aubameyang. I don't care if he's going. He might.
Havertz isn't fit. Just play Aubameyang.
Play both of them. I don't care. Like, just do anything. Like, genuinely. Like, but it's just frustrating because striker, like, no one's saying he's good, but he's scored goals. It's just, we might get something if we play him, if we start him. So, I mean, Lampard.
What benefit do we get out of that as well? Like, you might as well take David Dutton for fun. And now, Frank isn't using him, didn't even put him on the bench. But as much as I agree with you on Aubameyang, we know he will leave in the summer. So, I mean, Fofana will go on loan in the summer as well. But at least I don't think we'll sell him. So, like, if we're going to use one of the strikers we haven't used, surely it should be Fofana, no? Just purely for the reason that we know Aubameyang will leave.
Nah, because like if we do get a chance, like in these last few games, it just comes down. We need to get a point or a win, and I feel like with Aubameyang, at least he's got the experience behind him, and at least I don't think Fofana's I don't think he's ready at all. I don't want to.
I agree with you, but like, who is Aubameyang going to try? You know how we complain about none of them trying, none of them care. Is Aubameyang going to try?
I think he tried today. I think he tried today. I think he will try.
No, I don't disagree.
He definitely will try against Arsenal. So I hope.
I mean, I'll agree with your 5 though. I'll agree with your 5.
Yeah. I mean, Lampard did say post game that maybe it's time to see some of these players that played like more today. So I mean, hopefully we see more of Mudryk, more of Mdueke, less of fucking Gallagher, but probably not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what? So, okay, that means we see more of Sterling, more of Gallagher, more of Kovacic, more of, like, I'm not sure if that's, like, I know you tweeted that. I just saw your tweet about that, and I was like, what does he mean? He played the wrong players today. So what do you mean? Like, oh my days. But let's get to Mudryk. He obviously lost the ball very sillily, really. Before we conceded the second goal. Should the other guys have defended it better afterwards? Most definitely. So it's not like he's the main fault for the goal, but he still gave the ball away in a position where he shouldn't have. I still feel like he is our only saving grace at the moment because it just feels like opponents are scared of him. And that not everything worked for him yet, but this is just how I view football. Others might disagree. Like, we know Clutch has his doubts and stuff, but to me, when I see him play, I see, okay, things are not quite smooth yet, but I just look at you, I'm like, you will just be dangerous. And the way he shoots, even if he doesn't always put them on target, but the way he hits a ball and decides of where to shoot, I just think he will be great. And I still believe that. And I will not die on that hill, but I will stand by that for a hot while longer until I see what happens next season. And I thought he gave us a drastic spark today, the way he tried to play, like the chip ball that he played to Kante, then the crosses to the other side that he played. There was more than any of the other players did in the first half. Like, he did more than all of them combined, and he wasn't even amazing. But he was still better than all of them combined. And I still feel bad for him. I still don't understand why we don't try for him to make a run and find him more. It's just stupid that we don't do that more. That little turn and nutmeg was just gorgeous. I'm going to give him a 6. Maybe people think that's too high, but that's what I will give him. What did you make of Mudryk, and what would you rate him?
I I'll probably give him a 5.5.
Okay.
Just because I think he did lose the ball a couple of times, but he's definitely the bright spark. Yeah, I mean, again, it was so hard because I thought he did well, but like with how deep they defended, it was hard to really take any players on. I mean, he won that foul, but it was just so hard today. Obviously, we know he's going to be much better against teams that obviously open up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
even then, like you can find a way.
Yeah, but I think some of these touches were better today. I think he didn't lose the ball as much, but yeah, there's a player in there. There's a player in there for sure. Hopefully, Pochettino.
Hopefully, we'll see it at this football club because I also always said and think there's a player in Kai Havertz, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen for us, is it?
No.
See, Pies, I know you get a lot of hate, especially on Twitter. See, here's a positive comment. Pies is the go.
Thank you so much. I needed that.
There you go. Yeah, Madueke Felix. Honestly, I didn't even see anything from Felix. Did you? Or shall we just give him an NA?
I saw the ball go to him and him just completely ignore it. Like, did you? I need to.
I must have not. I'm not sure if I just looked at the City game or if I was preparing the stream or whatever. But I didn't see that.
You would have flipped your shit if you've seen this clip. I need to send it to you.
Yeah, please do, bro.
I was like, what the fuck are you doing? But no, Felix. Other than that, like genuine and NA. Like I don't know what to say. I didn't see it, but NA. But for that clip, if I send you that clip, you're definitely giving him a 0.
Maybe I would. So he's lucky I haven't seen it yet. By the way, guys, because Pies went for a 5.5 and I went for a 6 for Mudryk, and it's only us two left. Please do place your vote in the poll in the chat for Mudryk's rating between a 5.5 and a 6, and we'll give him the final rating of what the chat picks. So yeah, no, I'm in agreement on Felix. By the way, honestly, I thought he looked bright. I thought he looked, tried things. I was like, Sterling tried his thing of taking a few players on in the second half as well, and I actually enjoyed that. That he tried that. He's unfortunately very much so always going on his right foot, and then his crossing was never any good. But also, obviously, like we touched on about 15 times now, Brentford had 6 players in the box and we had 1. So, like, even if the cross was good, was it realistically going to come to a teammate? Probably not. But I thought Madueke, like, I still don't understand why he's not used more. Like, Sterling will probably be here next season, but instead of playing Kante right wing and Gallagher kind of left wing type thing, just play Madueke. Give him a chance at least. Like, this is next season. There will be moments where Madueke won't be picked because he's young, because he's inexperienced, because he's not quite the super talent like maybe Mudryk is. I don't think he will be a regular starter next season. I'll be honest. I don't think that. So now is the time to give him chances. Now is the time to help him develop a little bit. The guy had a lot of his young early days career hampered by injuries. Like, he's not injured at the moment. Obviously, how can he? He never plays. But just give him a bit of game time now. These are the players that are going to be the ones that will maybe scrape us to a point or a win, because these are the players that are something to prove, that are something to fight for. Kovacic don't care. He's 28, 29. He's won, 4 Champions Leagues or something. He will, whether he stays here, whether he goes somewhere else, he will not be doubted. Madueke has a career to make. Chukwuemeka has a career to make. These guys will try, no matter if there's no season goal to happen. For Kovacic, this changes nothing. Even for Kante, these things change nothing. Even for Enzo, these things change nothing. Why play all of them? Why never? Like, today wasn't the game to rest Enzo, but there was other occasions. Like, I'm still furious that Reece James played 90 minutes in 4 games in a row, and now he's out for the rest of the season. Now, I still think he should have rested for the whole rest of the season anyway, but not by being actually injured, by like healing the issues that he had, not having a fresh serious injury. Like, not fresh, but a worstly aggravated injury, I should say. But I mean, did Madueke do enough for you guys to get a rating, or shall we give him an NA as well and just give him a little bit of props for trying?
Yeah, NA, to be fair. Didn't really see much. I thought he'd won a corner, but it went out for a goal kick.
Yeah.
Other than that,
to be fair to the ref, on that situation, I was very impressed that the ref saw that.
Yeah, he was right in the end. I did think it was a corner, but Madueke will always try and take his man on. So I think that's something we need. Right now, we need someone trying to create something, even if he is raw. And I think the fans just want to see players that they can get behind. And I think Madueke is one of them. Mudryk's another. Just play players in attack that the fans can actually get behind and want to watch the game for. But I know against Arsenal, he's probably going to try and reduce the score to 3-0, and then he'll play 7 at the back this time. So
probably,
yeah. Great. Fantastic.
Can't wait for that one. next Tuesday, man. Again, why? I still can't understand why they moved this game from Saturday to Tuesday. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But anyway, here we are. Frank, where do we put him? We said Kovacic isn't getting a 0 because Lampard will, so we'll keep it quick. He gets a 0, but like, honestly, my brother said to me before the game or when we saw the lineup, he could have done anything different with this lineup, and anything would have been better. And I couldn't agree more. Any difference would have been better. The only thing that would have been mental, maybe, is if he, I don't know, started. I can't even think of the most outrageous thing he could have done that would have actually been worse than this. Can't even think of a good example. I don't know. Stark Gallagher up front. That would have maybe been even more crazy. But everything else, he couldn't have made it any worse. I mean, the half-time subs, okay, but brilliant. You realise after 5 games in charge, or 4.5 games in charge, that, okay, we need a couple of attackers to score. Brilliant. Who would have thought? My God. I mean, I had to ask you in the beginning, bro, but would you, if Pochettino agreed to come now, would you sack Lampard? And if, I don't know who I can think of as an example, just anyone would be willing to take over for the last few games, do you think, like, because did you think with somebody else we would be maybe get a point or 3 for the rest of the games? Because I just think we will lose every game until the end of the season now. I genuinely believe that.
I think it's either got to be Poch or just stick with Lampard, to be fair, or maybe give Bruno Salter a call, see if he wants to come back.
Honestly, call Potter.
Yeah,
the guy's too nice to say no anyway. So
fucking hell, call Billy Reid, call anyone. No, honestly, yeah. I mean, in terms of
Thiago Silva the manager, for all I care. Have a player manager until the end of the season. It can't be worse.
The thing is, we play like we don't have a manager anyway. So I mean,
no, it's true. That's what I'm saying. You know, you might as well actually not.
Yeah, exactly. You might as well actually not. I mean, we are.
I wonder what we paid Lampard for this, by the way.
Huh?
I wonder how much we're paying Lampard for these few weeks.
Oh, probably, I don't even want to think about that.
No, me neither. Certainly bagged a few $100K in the 5 losses. That's for damn flipping sure. My God. Yeah. But, I mean, is there anything else to elaborate on?
Well, I don't want Pochettino subjected to this mess. But, fuck me, Lampard's got to get a point soon or a win somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a change, to be fair. But I personally think Pochettino is quite a smart guy, and I don't think he'll want to take over right now. No. So that's the thing, I think. I mean, some of these quotes as well are just absolutely hilarious. But
I feel for the players, their own confidence. We controlled it possession-wise, dominated the second half. They scored on a break. Yeah, brilliant. Because we're 1-0 down and we're shot in confidence. But you shot the confidence with the fucking lineup, you moron. Do you know what I mean? The pride is here. We have to keep. Oh, where's the fucking pride? The stadium was empty. We looked like Man City without winning. You made that happen. You stop. Like, this happened before. No. We were never this bad before you came here. This season, not one game on the Potter was as bad as the last 5. Except
if you scroll up as well, he literally said, I'm not the problem in that top quote there.
Yeah, about what can you do? Well, fucking not start 6 midfielders against Brentford. That would be a fucking start, wouldn't it?
Literally, bro. It's so embarrassing.
Oh, my
because this is a problem that predates me. Yeah, it does, but you're making it fucking worse.
Yeah. We scored 1 goal since you're here. 1 goal. In Potter's last game, we scored none. Sure. In the one before that, we scored 2. We scored more. Do you know what I mean? 2. What would I give for 2 goals nowadays?
This is how desperate he is as well. Because when your manager's saying stuff like maybe something goes in your favour if it's against Arsenal, Bournemouth, Forest, you're basically saying I don't have a fucking. To be fair,
he's saying I can't just say that.
I mean, but it's just so desperate. Like it's like, please. I bet he's thinking, please. I actually don't know what I'm doing. Please, someone just score a worldie or something.
Yeah, no, honestly. But no one's going to do that. The way we set up, how are we ever going to get anywhere near goal with the shooting opportunity that doesn't get
we need God to help us in these last few games. We need God on our side.
Yeah.
If he's not, then damn, it's over.
Yeah, it literally is just dreadful. I mean, I'll finish it off with a different thing, which is not fun to finish it off with, but Do we seriously have to worry about relegation, bro? Like, we are currently 10 points out of relegation. But obviously, these two teams here, well, Southampton is too far away to change the gap. But if Everton win their game, that means our gap to relegation would then be Forest, which is 30 points and 9 points. And mind you, we still play Forest. So, like,
we got to beat Forest. We got to beat Forest, and we got
to
to
beat Brighton today, bro. Look at what Brighton did to us.
Yeah.
Look at the form. No one has worse form than us. No one. Like, everybody else has better form than we do.
Even like,
no,
bro,
of course not.
Even lately, West Ham have been atrocious, and there's been so much talk of like them sacking David Moyes. Even them in their last 5 games.
Today? I thought they were 1-0 up, wasn't it?
Yeah, they lost to Liverpool. Even in their last 5 games, they've won 2. Like, that's how bad we are. That, like, West Ham fans have been absolutely fuming with David Moyes. They've won 2 out of 5.
Goal difference of -5. We scored 30 goals in 32 games. Wow. Like, do you think it's a serious worry relegation, or do you still not think that these teams will actually get enough points to catch us up?
I don't think they will, but if we come to, I don't know, do we play? I think we played Forest first. No, we played Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. And so Arsenal away, then Bournemouth away, then Forest.
Fucking hell! Oh my god! Yeah, if we don't beat Bournemouth or get something from Bournemouth, my god, I'm going to be started shitting myself, honestly.
Yeah. Then we got 2 trips to Manchester, so that's going to be fun.
I mean, we never win at Old Trafford anyway. We ain't won there in like 10 years, so that's not happening. City will beat us 5-0. Then who else we got? Newcastle? Bro, that's great.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't be arsed, man. Just please, man, turn up for one fucking game. Like, do it. Oh, it's so frustrating. Because I want to blame the players, but I just can't because we got some, like, Lampard's just clueless.
Yeah,
it's just clueless. But they also need to have some shame. Like, Lampard saying there's pride. Like, there's no fucking pride. There's no nothing. Like, what are you on about? Stop lying to us. So that's what pissed me off about him last time when he was in charge. He never took accountability and he always lied to the media. Like, he was always just saying bullshit. It's just, we know it's bullshit. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's serious. Like I say, I don't think we'll get relegated in the end, but not because we will get any points. Like, maybe we'll get 1 or 2 points. I genuinely do not believe we will win a game. I genuinely don't believe so. Because I just can't see how. Like, the only way I think we'll get a point is if we play 0-0. I'm not even sure if we'll score another goal. Like, you know, obviously Chelsea do the goal of the season, not just the men's team. They do the women's team, and the youth teams are included in that. So it's not just the men's team. But like, Gallagher would literally just win goal of the month because he's the only one that scored a goal, and it was a deflected shot. Do you know how bad that is? Chelsea ladies playing tomorrow in the Champions League, by the way, against Barcelona, trying to rectify a 1-0 deficit from the first leg, which was a disappointing game, by the way, that game at the Bridge. So my hopes are minimum for that one as well, if I'm honest. But
they probably
at least stay in the Champions League semi-final. Go on.
Played better football than us, probably.
No, they do. Well, in the first leg, honestly, they didn't. Sam Kerr played like Kai Havertz on his worst days. Couldn't control the ball. Maybe like Lukaku.
I don't want to see the woman version of Havertz, so maybe I won't watch.
No, I should have compared it to Lukaku. Now, she runs, to be fair to her, but she just, every ball she got, either she messed up the touch or she messed up the following pass or cross. Like, literally, it was awful. But, you know, and then, you know what annoyed me, and I don't want to get into that too much, but someone replied, oh, she's human. I'm like, what do you mean she's human? If that was the standard to go by, we should never criticize our other players either. So why is this all of a sudden an excuse? When has anyone ever said about Mount or Havertz or Lukaku or flipping, I don't know, Cucurella? Oh, he's human. What is this? Anyway, it's just more and more misery. The only positive, stream was done a bit quicker, so we can go to bed sooner. Isn't that great? And now we have another... well, now it's officially Thursday for me, but another 6 days to wait until the next game. Again, I don't understand why we don't play on the weekend, but anyway. Focus on F1 instead, so something positive. Well, Ferrari's also shit. My year's just grown fantastically well. A bit of info, background info for you, ladies and gentlemen. My local club, FC Wacker Innsbruck, in the 4th division of Austrian football after we went bankrupt, we've now got a partnership with LAFC. Isn't that weird? So, apparently they're giving us money now, so that's fun. So, you know, next Messi might come out of Innsbruck. Do you know what I mean? My God. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to round this one out. Appreciate you all if you're still here. If you've been here earlier, you're not going to hear this now if you've only been here earlier. But regardless, if you're still here, appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already. On the road to 20,000 subscribers. Every new subscriber counts. Oh, yeah. And I guess I should bring it back up on screen for just a second. The chat has decided that Mudryk gets a 6. So just quickly for, being complete, finishing the stream in a completed way. Let's give Mudryk his 6. But yeah, of course, check out Pice's website, londonsfirst.com, for articles about, Pochettino, what we're going to do with that. Obviously, all your Chelsea news on Pice's Twitter, which is also in the description. And shout out again to Jay for giving us his time, even though he's got an early start tomorrow. Check out his channel, link is down in the description. Click the ads and subscribe to him. Subscribe to me, hit the like button, be massively appreciated. But yeah, I keep saying upwards and onwards. It's now, but this season has been so bad. Upwards and onwards hasn't always been part of my outro. I usually only said upwards and onwards when we didn't win. Well, this season I pretty much always said upwards and onwards, because even when we did win, we lost a 3 before that. So we're still flipping upwards and onwards. But yeah.
Also, can I just say, I think for just for Charlie going to the game today, I think we should also go and subscribe to his channel, because I feel so bad.
Shout out Charlie, just for going to the game. I mean,
to
be honest, same goes to Lewis. Subscribe to him as well.
I saw Charlie just posted a vlog, and I don't dare watch that.
No. I mean, you know what you should do, guys? When you go into Charlie's vlog, click it, hit a like,
and go.
Yeah, just go. Like, it's okay. Watch the first ad before the video starts and then just leave. Like, it's okay. He will understand. My God. Let's show. By the way, I do apologize that I don't react to necessarily more of you guys in the chat. I do want to go back to doing part of the stream where I just focus on the chat, but not tonight. Not on Thursday. Not after we lose all our games. But we will get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. Upwards and onwards, and we'll see you next time.